Yo, YouTube, it's your boy Philo B. I am Philo, and I am back with another video. Listen, man, dude, I know you guys seen Nikola Jokic on Christmas with the video game stats. This dude had 56 points, 16 rebounds, and 15 assists. So, man, look, I don't know if you guys are tapped into my Twitter. If you aren't, follow me at Sir Philo, because I typically will tell you guys what build I'm going to do next, but I could not let this build pass without making my version of Jokic. I've been looking at other YouTubers doing my research, and I really think this build will be able to hold its own. As the title promised, I have two versions of this build. I'm going to show you both. I think the second name describes Jokic perfect. The first name it's real decent too. It's one of those rare build names, and it's a little bit better on the cap breakers, but I like the second name more, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So let's jump straight into it. So for the position, of course, we're going to go center, and then for the height, we're going to go 6'11". For the weight, we're going to drop that down to 240 pounds. And then for the wingspan, we're going to go 7'3". The reason I went 6'11 and 7'3 is because 6'11 is Jokic's height actually in the game, and then 7'3" is also his listed wingspan. His weight is a little bit more, but I wanted to give this Jokic build some speed. I didn't give it a whole lot, but I gave it just enough. So jumping on into our stats, man, and dude, this build is a monster, man. Starting with the close shot, we're going to put the close shot all the way up to a 94, man. When I say this build is going to be a nightmare on both the offensive and defensive end, because don't get me wrong, don't sleep on the defense. You're going to see what I mean when we get there. For the driving layup, we're going to put that all the way up to a 93. Once you do that, you can already see how OP this build is. It's going to get Hall of Fame float game, and it's going to go layup mix master. Sorry, man, dude, listen. When I say I'm so excited to get some runs in on this build, for the driving dunk, man, we're going to put that up to a 75. And I know what y'all are thinking. Y'all are like, why does this Jokic build have a 75 driving dunk? Dude, I promise you, I went to the rosters and I checked, and Jokic has a 75 driving dunk. And he also actually has a 90 standing dunk. But for ours, we're going to put the standing dunk up to a 72. If you need to, you can cap break it just a little bit. Alrighty, now for post control, we're going to put our post control up to a 90. So once we get to a 90, check out a few things you get on this build. You're going to get Hall of Fame hook specialist. You're going to get gold post-up poet. You're going to get silver unpluckable, man. And then going back up here, look, Hall of Fame gold, man. This build is going to be cracked, dude. For the mid-range shot, we're going to put that up to an 85. And then for our three-pointer, we're going to put that up to an 83 so we can get bronze limitless. Using this build for what it is intended for, 85 mid-range is more than enough to definitely be able to hit mid-range, especially if you're fading. You're going to be all green with that. And then an 83 three-pointer, like I said in yesterday's video, go check out the Shai Gilgeous video if you haven't seen it. If you know, you know. 83 is more than enough to be able to smack consistently. And then with free throw, we're going to put that up to an 87 because I want you to be able to use this build in every game mode, whether it be Pro AM, whether it be Park, whether it be the event center, whether it be Gatorade, whether it be Rec, whether it even be the stage and the ante up, man. I want you to be able to take this build wherever. Of course, this would not be a Jokic build if it did not have passing accuracy. Let me know in the comments, man. I'm hearing in the streets that Jokic is the best passing big of all time. If you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know. So with the passing accuracy, we're going to put that all the way up to a 90. That's going to give us Dimer on gold, break start on gold, bailout, and it's also going to give us versatile visionary. I always talk about that badge because you guys know how much of a fan I am of that badge. And then for ball handle, we're going to put it up to a 72. Don't sleep on Jokic's handles, man. Jokic got some moves for a big man, and I feel like 72 is more than enough. And then for speed and ball, we're just going to put that up to about a 60. So for our interior, we're going to put that up to a 75. But of course, you guys can use cap breakers to increase that if you want. For the perimeter, we're going to put it up to a 71. Now, I don't expect for you to lock up on the perimeter, but I didn't feel comfortable not having any perimeter at all, because regardless of, what type of build you make, you want to put some type of perimeter into it. And then with steal, we're going to put the steal up to a 60. Giannis is a sleeper when it comes to picking off passing lanes, man. And then for the block, we're going to put our block up to an 84. So that'll give us, at the very least, silver paint patroller, bronze interceptor. We will also get off-ball pest. All right, moving on to our rebounding. And this is where, depending on how you shape the rebounding, it will change the name of the build, but I'll show you that here in a few seconds. So for our offensive rebound, for the first version, we're going to put this up to a 70. And then for defensive, we're going to put that up to an 80. Now, moving on to the speed, we're going to put the speed up to a 71. As I said in the beginning, I gave it a little bit of speed. I didn't want to make it too fast, but I feel like this describes Jokic perfect. And then for the agility, we're going to max that out at a 65. For our strength, though, we're going to put that up to a 79. I'll tell you guys what I tell all of my buddies, at least in my experience. 85 strength, 73 strength is pretty much the same thing in this game. But with the 79 strength on this build, you're going to get gold physical finisher, silver strong handles, silver post powerhouse, and movable enforcer brick wall, and post move lockdown. And then lastly, for our vertical, we're going to put our vertical all the way up to a 65. And if you guys did that correctly, you get shades of Jokic, Sengun, and Karl Anthony Towns to make a crafty offensive engine. Dude, listen, not going to lie to you guys, man. I am feeling these shades. Jokic, Alfred Sengun, and Cat, Bodega Cat, for, people that know me. Y'all know how much I love Karl Anthony Towns. Dude, these are some of the best premier big men in the league. And then also, for those guys that are really big on weaknesses in the build, no big weaknesses to report, right? So, crafty offensive engine. Won't miss many bunnies, gets deep finishes without flash, can launch deep outlets with ease, mid-range assassin. Tell me that does not describe Jokic. Now, we're going to drop back for a moment so that I can show you the second version of this build. For the second version, we're going to keep everything exactly the same on our physicals. The only thing we are going to change for the second version of this build is the rebounding, really. The rest of the changes are kind of minuscule, so you really don't know the difference. So, if we drop our defensive rebound all the way down to a 70, if we drop our speed by 1, and feel free to pause the video if you need to, if we drop our free throw down to 81, and then if we put our offensive rebound all the way up to an 85, you'll get a slightly different version of this build. Now, this is the name that I personally like with this build because, once again, Jokic had 56, 16, and 15, and I think that this name will perfectly describe him. The shades change a little bit to Domantas Sabonis, but you get a triple-double threat. Listen, I understand that the weakness says it gives up boards without resistance. We all know we have cap breakers in the game. 2K blessed us with the ability to kind of fix our builds, if we mess up the first time. But trust me, that 85 offensive rebound does more than make up for that 70 defensive rebound. Because also with it being an 85, it also gives your rebound chaser gold. So gold works on both offense and defense. But man, I am infatuated with the name Triple Double Threat. The strengths, won't miss many bunnies, same, gets deep finishes without flash, same, can launch deep outlets with ease, but a new one is major asset on offensive rebounds. So like I said, man, this is my take on the Nikola Jokic build. You guys know how OP 6'11s are, and then also with us making it 6'11, you can put the Giannis cross on here. Now listen, I know. Some people may have trouble with a Giannis build. Sorry, not a Giannis build. A Jokic build having the Giannis crossover. But dude, trust me. I'm telling y'all, do not sleep on Jokic as a ball handler, man. As usual, as I always say, feel free to change whatever you feel like you need to change on this build. I really hope you guys like this build, and as usual, definitely like, subscribe, and comment, and then show me what you guys want to see next. I'm here to make whatever builds you guys are down to see. I love making out of the ordinary builds. I love making builds of players, that people consider underrated. I'm a big Denny Avendia fan. I have a Denny Avendia build that I want to drop pretty soon. Whatever you guys want to see, hey, hitting the Dougie. Whatever build you guys want to see, definitely let me know. But as usual, it's your boy Philo, and I'm out. Peace.